everyone. My name is Jenny. I always encourage everybody to take breaks during your practice as often as you need to. And on the flip side of that, if you've been practicing for a while and you know how to take a pose deeper or take a different pose entirely, feel free to fit it in wherever it feels natural. Today's practice, we're going to start maybe in a nice, easy seated position. Just let our eyes close and let our shoulders relax back and down. Find that nice, comfortable spot where we can kind of sit up tall and be right here on our mats. We have nowhere to go. We have nothing to do. And being aware of our breath as it comes in through our nose and out through our nose. And we start to deepen that breath. Nice big inhales, filling the belly, letting our chest rise and expand. And an exhale to squeeze that air out nice and slow. Draw the belly button in toward the spine. Feel completely empty, and then fill once again with air. We're going to keep that nice slow flow of breath here, just 3 or 4 deep breaths. Maybe as we're being mindful of this breath here, our mind might start to quiet. And we set our positive intention for today's practice. Whatever that is for you, maybe it's something we need off of the mat, some happy, some calm, patience, strength, and give it to ourselves while we're here on our mats. One last breath in and out. And we're going to make our way back onto our mats. Make sure we have some mat behind us. We're going to rock back and hug in that left knee nice and snug and extend that right leg out nice and long. Not just an invitation of the knee towards the chest, but let it open out a little towards that underarm. Releasing that left leg, we'll do the other side. Right knee drives up and in. And then both of our feet flat to the mat. We're going to set up our bridge. Walk our heels close in toward our bottom. Let the palms face the mat. And tilt the pelvis so that our whole spine grounds into the mat. Taking our inhale, we'll lift. Press through the feet. Press through the arms. Keeping our gaze up toward the ceiling. Only as much lift as we want here. First bridge of our practice. And then we're going to start a little flow as we lower back to the mat, nice and slow. We'll take an inhale and lift back up into our bridge. Exhale and lower. And we're going to keep that flow right there with our own breath, inhaling and exhaling. One more, inhale and exhale. Once we've lowered back down, we're going to bring the knees up over the hips and take the hands behind our head for some yogi bicycle. Let the elbows point out wide. Knees are out over our hips. We're going to take our inhale. Exhale, right elbow across towards that left knee. Extend that right leg out. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side. And we keep that flow alternating sides. Exhaling as we draw across. Draw the belly button in. Press through that extended leg.
Just one more here on each side. We'll hug the knees in and take a nice cleansing breath in and out. Now taking our legs back out to that tabletop position, we're going to let our knees open out wide like frog legs. Turn the toes out, let our heels adjust inward, feel the low back, again pressing into the mat. We're going to interlace the fingers, maybe keep the thumb and index finger pointing out. Take an inhale, let the arms reach overhead. And then exhale and bring the arms through the legs. Lift the head, neck, and shoulders. And then inhale and lower back down, let the arms reach. Exhale as we draw through. Maybe we see a little movement in the knees, drawing in toward us as we reach through. Activating our core. Finding that purpose here at the start of our practice, warming ourselves up for the work to come. Just one more. Inhale and exhale. Once again, we'll rest the head. Help our knees together. Give our knees a nice quick squeeze in. And we're going to grab a hold of the back side of our thighs. We're going to give ourselves a little rock up. We're going to meet up into some boat. And we might start with our feet flat to the mat and find our positioning here. Let the arms extend. Find a reach up through the crown of our head and then take that lean back. Engaging the core. Maybe we come to the toes. Maybe our feet leave the mat. Any variation of our boat where we feel supported. And just breathe here through our boat. Big inhales. Complete exhales. And then we'll release our feet back to the mat. Take an inhale as we lengthen straight up. Exhale and round over the legs. Reach toward our toes, round the upper back. And then we'll come over into our table, onto some hands and knees. Swing the legs around. We'll meet in table. Let our calves come parallel to each other. Tops of our feet to the mat. Spread the fingers. Press through our palms. Let the shoulder blades melt out to the sides. Cat and cow here. We're going to inhale for cow. Tailbone turns up. Our chest is up and our head is up. Exhale for cat. Curl the tailbone and look toward our belly button. Press through the palms. Inhale for cow. And exhale for cat. We're going to keep this flow just a few rounds here, warming up our spine. Nice exaggerated movement here. Press through the palms. Invite the middle of the shoulder blades up toward the ceiling. Drop the belly. Fill it with air. A few more rounds just like this. Just one more round of cat and cow. And we're going to meet back at our neutral table for some spinal balance. Extending our right arm and left leg. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Find the squaring of the hips down to the mat. Press through the heel. Reach through the fingertips. Maybe we keep our gaze down to the mat. Nice long spine. We're going to start a little flow. If we've got the balance, drive the knee and elbow toward each other underneath. Inhale, reach and extend. Exhale, squeeze that air out. Connect together. Inhale and reach. We're going to keep that flow right there, using our own breath. Big inhales to lengthen. Exhale, core motion here. One more, inhale and exhale. We'll make it back to our neutral table and we'll take it to the other side. Extending that left arm, right leg, opposite side here. Find that true spinal balance first. Square the hips down, press through our heel, reach through the fingertips. And then when we have that balance, we might find flow here. Exhale together. Inhale and reach. The option is always to keep both hands to the mat and maybe just do the leg. Extend it back and drive that knee underneath as we exhale. Any variation again, feeling supported in every move. One more here on this side. And we'll come back to our table. We're going to turn this into child's pose. Knees out wide and pressing the bottom back toward our heels. Let the arms walk out long in front and let our forehead rest on the mat here. Take a nice few cleansing breaths here. Knowing that we can come here to our child's pose anytime during our practice when we need a break. Helping our knees together underneath us. We're going to keep our arms extended straight out in front. Maybe the palms are as wide as our mat. Leave room for the chest so that we can come forward into our plank position. On the knees, we've got this nice incline. We're stacking our joints, lowering just halfway down. Keep the elbows pointing back. Squeeze into the ribs. Inhale and we'll press straight back up and then press back toward our heels. We've got 3 more rounds just like that. Inhale and draw forward. Exhale, slow lower down. Inhale to press straight back up and exhale it back. 2 more rounds. Keep that flow right there. Use our breath to flow forward. Activating the triceps. Actively trying to keep those elbows tucked in towards the rib cage. Last round. Now when we complete that last round, we're going to turn this into downward facing dog. Curl our toes, lift our hips, and we can keep a generous bend in our knees here. But keep the arms long. Feel like we're wrapping the outer arms toward each other. Letting our head just hang. We might pedal out the feet here. One heel towards the mat and then the other. And then we'll take this into some 3-legged dog. Lift that right leg high. Only getting as much lift out of our leg as we want here. And then if it feels good, we might open up the hip. Send the right toes to drip behind us. Feel like we're trying to shine the kneecap up towards the ceiling. Squaring the hips, right foot comes back to the mat. We're going to take it to the other side. Left leg lifts. And we can hold here. We might open up the hips and the toes to drip behind us. Keep the press through the arms, softening that right heel. And we'll square those hips. And we're going to pull forward into a plank position. Stacking our wrists and shoulders. We might need to wiggle and make distance between the hands and feet here so that we're nice and long, pressing through the palms. Trying not to sag through the middle or pike up through the center. Keep it nice and long. And then without moving hands or feet, we're going to press to down dog. Lift our hips up and back. Soften the heels. And then we'll come forward into our plank, floating forward. Keep pressing the floor away. Back into our downward facing dog. And then pulling forward into our plank. If we want more here, we can start to invite the right knee towards the right elbow as we come forward into our plank. And then back into our down dog. And we take it to the other side, alternating sides. Keep pressing into the floor. Keep that knee close to the body as we bring it forward. Let's take one more on each side. And then we'll meet back in our downward facing dog. We're going to take a walk to meet our hands at the top of our mat and hang in some ragdoll. Drip forward here. Release the head and neck. Let it go. Maybe we'd like to hold opposite elbows, or we can let our hands release towards the floor. We might even want to put a generous bend in our knees here. So really whatever feels like we can let go and release. Dumping out any junk we're holding on to. Letting it go. Leave it on the mat. And breathe in that positive intention we set. Make some space for that positive intention. Our happy, our calm. Now on our next inhale, nice and slow, we'll make our way back up. We'll let our arms reach out and overhead. And exhale to our heart center. We're going to step wide on our mats here for some moonflowers. So taking a wide stance, we'll turn our toes out and our heels in just slightly so that when we find the squat down, we feel the opening up in our hips. Keep the chest tall. Elbows into our rib cage. And inhale here, and we'll straighten everything out, reach it high. Exhale, pull it all back in and sink down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Keep that flow. Just a few rounds like this, opening up the hips. One more, inhale and exhale. We're going to turn these right into sunflowers, so our inhale is still the same. Exhale, bend our knees, hinge forward, flat back, scooping motion with the arms. Inhale, press to the feet, sweeping back high. Exhale, bend and hinge forward. Keep those knees pressing out. We're opening up the hips a little bit more each time. Matching that inhale, lengthening to our exhale as we lower. We'll take one more inhale and exhale. And we're going to meet back up with our inhale. Let our arms just float down, and we can either step or maybe hop our feet together. We're going to meet back at the top of our mats. Take this into our chair pose. So our feet just hip distance apart. We're going to hinge at the top of our legs. So we send the bottom back and then bend our knees. All of that weight shifting back toward our heels. Relax the shoulders, hands at heart center. We can stay right here, or we can choose to extend the arms if we want the work. Biceps reaching up by the ears. Keep those shoulder blades relaxed. Draw the belly button in. Nice full breaths here. Now we're going to take this right into our sun salutation. So any variations we know here, we're going to sweep through up, take an inhale up, exhale and forward fold. Swan dive it down, lead with the heart. Inhale to our half back, we're shaped like an L. Exhale and fold. Hands come to the mat, and we'll step our right foot back and then our left for down dog. Pull forward into a plank, or maybe it's kneeling plank. Slow lower all the way to the mat, elbows are close. Inhale, we'll scoop the chest up for our cobra. Curl the toes and make it back to downward facing dog. Right foot stepping forward towards the top. And then our left meets it for that fold. And an inhale to come all the way back up. Exhale, heart center. We have one more round just like that. Inhale, sweep it high. Exhale, forward fold, swan dive it down. Inhale to our half back. Exhale and fold. Hands come to the mat. This time left foot stepping back first, and then our right for down dog. And we'll pull forward into that plank or kneeling plank. Slow lower all the way down to the mat. Find that control and a big inhale to scoop up, roll the shoulders back. Curl our toes. We'll lift the hips up and back, down dog. This time left foot stepping forward towards the top. And then our right meets it and we fold. Inhale to come all the way back up. Exhale, heart center. Now we're going to stay here at the top of our mats. And we're going to start by stepping our right foot back into warrior one. I'm going to switch sides of my mat so that I can stay open to face you. So starting at the top of our mats, we're going to step that right foot back, ground through the whole of our back foot. Turn the foot in on an angle so you can square those hips forward towards the top. Keep a bend into that front knee. Knee and ankle right on top of each other, arms reach when we're ready. Biceps are reaching up by the ears. We keep those shoulder blades nice and relaxed. Breathing here. This is our warrior one. Opening up warrior two. Left arm forward, right arm behind us. We're going to adjust the feet around a little. Walk that back foot so that it's more parallel to the back of the mat. Keep bending into that front knee. Toes stay facing the top. And active arms, reaching like we're being pulled in opposite directions. Now notice that those shoulder blades want to creep up by the ears. Let them relax, soften away from the ears. We're going to flip this front hand over, reach it out, and then up, reverse our warrior. Light touch on our back leg. More about the breath, breathing through our rib cage, making some space there. Back to those warrior two arms for side angle. Left forearm crosses our thigh, right arm reaches high. And we can take any variation here. Maybe we want the extension of that left hand towards the mat, or maybe that right arm wants to reach overhead. Send that stretch all the way down our side. Really, whatever feels supportive here in the moment. Now we're going to start a few arm circles with this right arm. So we're going to take the right arm and sweep it towards the back of the mat, down towards the floor, and then forward and back up to the ceiling. We're going to take a few circles in this direction. Maybe connect the breath. Inhale it up and exhale it back and down. One more time around in this direction. And then we'll just switch directions. Reverse that circle. Reach it back and up, forward and down. One more time around here. We're going to cartwheel this right hand all the way to the mat. Right fingertips might come to the mat. If we're working with a block, we can have a block underneath that right hand. We're going to turn this into twist. Let the left arm reach high. If it feels better, turn on that back foot, make it lunge. We can even drop the knee and make it kneeling lunge. Whatever feels better in the twist here. Left hand comes down. We're going to take this into our low lunge, dropping that right knee down to the mat. Uncurl the toes, and we're going to come all the way back up center. Sturdy through that front foot. We might need to walk the foot in, but make sure that knee and ankle stay right either on top of each other or behind. Releasing the left hand. We can drop that left hand either towards the mat, or we can anchor the left hand to our hip. We're going to reach up with this right hand and exhale as we take it over. Reach towards the left. Back up through center. Let that left hand sweep back high, and hands drop through our heart center. We're going to take this to our twist. Elbows out wide. Take our inhale first. Exhale, right elbow across towards that left thigh. Anchor down. Use it as an anchor to lift our chest and rotate towards the side. Unwinding back to center. Hands coming to the mat. We're going to walk the hands inside the foot. So we might need to walk that left foot over, maybe towards the outer edge, so that both hands can be inside the foot. And if the knee is in and we are creating more of a box here with our legs, we might walk this right knee back a step or two. Find length here so we can take this into lizard. We might come down onto the forearms if it's available, or if we're using a block, we can use that block underneath the forearms here to bring the floor to us. Or the choice is always to stay here on the palms. So any variation of this lizard that feels like we're opening up the hip here, staying here just a few breaths. We'll take one more long breath here. Come back up onto our palms if we're not there already. We'll curl the back toes under, lift the knee so that we can take a walk to the middle of our mat and set up a straddle. So we're going to let those feet come straddle. Feet are parallel to each other. The toes are facing the side. We can be up on fingertips, or we can be up on that block again. Folding forward, let the chest soften forward and down, and release our head and neck. Hands might walk in toward us. We want to feel like we're shining our tailbone up towards the ceiling, firming the back side of our legs as best we can here. Pressing back up into our fingertips. We'll take a walk back to the top of our mat, turn the toes to face the top, and step back into downward facing dog. We're going to meet here, maybe a few pillows of the feet. Maybe we pause here, or we can find our flow through to our plank, down and into our cobra. Maybe we prefer up dog. The choice is ours. Curl our toes, so we'll meet back in downward facing dog. We're going to take a few resting breaths here. So we might choose to take those resting breaths in our child's pose. Or we can hold that down dog. Really, whatever feels like a break in this moment. Recollect that breath we had at the start of our practice. Nice big inhales and complete exhales. Maybe we even use this time to grab water. One more long breath wherever you are. And we'll meet back in our downward facing dog so we can set up the other side. We're going to lift this right leg high like our three-legged dog. Look to the top of the mat. Envision that we want that foot to land between the hands. Drive that right foot forward. And then drop our back foot down on its angle. We're going to come all the way back up. Warrior one on the other side. Make those adjustments once we're up. Square the hips forward, bend into that front knee, relax the shoulder blades. Opening up to warrior two, right arm forward, left arm behind, adjust that back foot, and keep bending into that front knee. Opening up wide. We might find that we tend to take this left hip out and maybe reach too far forward. Tuck that left hip in. Let our shoulders and our hips stay nice and stacked on top of each other. Flipping our right hand over, reach it out and then up, reverse. Light touch on that back leg. Breathe through the rib cage. If it's available and we want to go there, that left hand might even creep behind us. But really all about what feels supportive here in every move. Back to those warrior two arms. Side angle. Right forearm crosses, left arm high. Opening up the chest. Notice if we tend to dump weight here into that right forearm. Let the shoulder blades settle down away from the ear. Let it be a light touch on that forearm. More about that reaching upward. We might find variations. Right arm might want to come towards the mat. Or maybe left arm reaching overhead just for a moment. And then we'll start the circles as we reach that left hand towards the back, down towards the floor, and then forward and back up to the ceiling. Keep those circles going in that direction. Any variation of that right arm, if you want to keep that extension, we can. We got one more time around, and then we're going to reverse the direction of those circles. Taking those circles, reaching back and up, and then forward and down. Bicep just brushing the ears. We come forward. Feel that full rotation in the shoulder. One more time around, we're going to cartwheel this left hand all the way to the mat. Maybe we're on tented fingers, maybe we're working with that block. Right hand is going to reach high, twisting. Turn on that back foot. Maybe we want to make it lunge or kneeling lunge. Whatever's working here in the moment on each side, they might be different. We're going to take this right hand down to the mat. We're all going to soften into a low lunge here. Find that low lunge and let our arms sweep high. Sturdy through that front foot. From our low lunge, we're going to drop the right hand either towards the mat or we're anchoring to our hip. This left arm, we're going to reach up. And then exhale as we reach over towards the right. Feeling that side bend all the way down our side, maybe even getting into our hip here. Left hand comes back up, right arm meets it. So those hands can come through heart center. Relax the shoulders, let the elbows point out wide. We're gonna twist. Inhale it up. Exhale, left elbow across towards that right thigh. Anchor down, finding our twist here. Breathing through our twist best we can. Unwinding back to our center. Hands are going to come to the mat. Inside the foot. So maybe we walk that right foot over towards the outer edge. Bring both of our hands inside the foot. We're going to set up our lizard here. So if the knee wants to walk back a step or two, we might find more length in that left leg behind us. But keep this right knee and ankle right on top of each other, so that the knee doesn't come past the foot. We don't want that knee to come past the foot or we start to compromise our knee joint. Now we can stay right here. We're going to feel the opening up in our hip. We can take it to the forearms, and it might be available on one side and not the other. Let each side be completely different if it needs to be. We can stay up on those palms or use our block to come halfway. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Find space at the back of our neck. Now we're going to curl those toes. Come back up onto the palms if we're not there already. We're going to meet here and curl the toes so we can lift the knee away from the mat and walk the hands to the middle of the mat. Find our straddle again. Let our feet come parallel as we soften forward and down. Hands might walk in. And the distance between our feet may be different for everyone. If we want a really wide stance, we can be there. Wherever we're feeling that sensation at the back of our legs here. Pressing back up into the hands. We'll take a walk to meet the top of our mat. Turn our toes to face the top and step into our downward facing dog. We're going to meet in that down dog. We might just take a few petals of the feet and stay, or we can find that flow. If we want the work, it's there for us. Through to our plank, down and into our cobra. Maybe it's our up dog. And curl our toes to meet back in downward facing dog. Once we're back in our down dog, we're going to pull forward back into our plank. Maybe it's kneeling plank. Take a slow lower all the way down to the mat. We're going to come down to the belly. Staying down on the belly, we're going to lengthen the legs straight back behind us and take the arms straight out in front of us. Ground through our pelvis here. And on our inhale, we'll lift the arms, get lift up out of the chest, and then maybe lift the legs. We can keep our gaze down towards the mat so that we don't compromise our neck. Keep the reaching and the lifting. This is our locust pose. Breathing through it here, strengthening up our low back. And we'll release back to the mat. Let the hands come underneath our shoulders. And we're going to press our chest back towards the thighs. Round ourselves over the legs. Feel that counteraction there from that back bend. Hands walking in. We're going to come over onto our seats, sitting down, lengthening our legs out in front. So we'll take those legs out in front and keep our legs glued together. Flexing our feet so the toes are facing the ceiling. We're sitting up nice and tall. Ground through the sit bones. Taking our forward fold, inhale as we lengthen straight up. And then exhale as we fold. Lead with the chest here. And then let our hands just rest. Wherever they come is just perfect. No expectation to touch our toes or to get our head to touch the knees. More about keeping the chest shining forward to feel that sensation at the back of our legs. Maybe even a little bend in our knees. Maybe we get that sensation through our low back here as we fold. Allowing each inhale to lengthen us and each exhale to soften. One more round of breath here. Hands walking back up our legs. We're going to bring this right foot in, flat to the mat here. And we can keep it on the inside of that thigh, or we can move it over to the outside. We're going to set up a twist. Let that foot be planted. Left arm, wrap it around. Right hand is going to come up behind us. Prop ourselves up tall. Take our inhale. Exhale as we twist towards the right. Squeeze that air out as we twist. Breathing here through our twist as we can. Unwinding back to our center. We're going to take this to the other side. Lengthen that leg out. Bring our left foot in, flat either on the inside of the thigh or maybe move it over to the outside. Right arm wraps around, left hand behind us. Sit up nice and tall and take our inhale. Exhale and twist towards the left. Starting that twist from the top of the legs and working our way up. Unwinding back to our center. We'll lengthen this left leg out. We're going to rock back onto our mats. Make sure that we have some mat behind us as we rock back. Hug our knees in. Let our head and shoulders just relax into the mat. We're going to take a little happy baby here before we settle in to our Savasana. Open up the knees out wide. And then grab hold, either our ankles or maybe it's the bottoms of our feet. We're going to send the bottoms of our feet to face the ceiling. Feel like we're drawing the knees down toward the underarms. And then we might get that rock side to side. True happy baby fashion here. Rocking side to side, massaging out our spine. And then we'll help our knees together. Give ourselves one last squeeze. Maybe even take the head up off the mat toward the knees. Hug ourselves nice and tight. And then release the head. And release one leg at a time here. Setting up our Savasana, our relaxation. Find that nice comfortable spot. Let our back bodies relax. Tuck the shoulder blades. Arms and legs just falling out. Eyes are closed. Jaws relaxed. Start to bring some movement back to our fingers, back to our toes. Remind ourselves of that positive intention we set at the start of our practice. And slowly roll over onto our sides in a nice fetal position. Give ourselves a moment of thanks for coming to practice. Taking this time to be here on our mats. Loving our bodies, our mind, our spirit, just the way that they are in this moment. Grateful for all of the hard work we do, both on and off of our mats. And then when we're ready, we'll meet in a nice, easy seated position with our hands at heart center. We'll inhale our arms up, going beyond ourselves. Exhale as we open ourselves up, give it all away to the world and everyone in it. And by that one simple act, we'll scoop back up the benefits, the gifts and the blessings the world has to offer us. And we'll tuck them gently into our heart and be at peace. Namaste.